Welcome. Teen Mission 24 all staff meeting. Let's introduce you to our theme and to the song that we're going to be singing this week. Let's start off with the song. Miss Kim.
So they told us the theme, and this is the song that jumped in my mind, and I tried looking at different songs, and was just living there rent free. So I'm going to encourage you guys to stand and worship. I know Hope Community has already introduced this to our church. And so this is Run to the Light. It's originally done by Brandon Lake. You can have my yes with no exception. I'm laying down my right to second guessing. You can have my yes. I'm giving you my fear of never knowing whatever's coming next. I know you've got me. You can have my yes. You're the lamp, you're the light, you're the cloud that guides me. You're the way, you're the truth, you're the life inside me. You conquer my fear, so I leave it all behind. I'm running to the light. I'm giving you my dreams and my ambitions. Your presence is my prize and my provision. All else with you. Oh, who can come against if you are for me? 'Cause even in the fire, I know you've got me. I'm giving you my yes again. You're the lamp, you're the light, you're the cloud that guides me. You're the way, you're the truth, you're the life inside me. You conquer my fears, so I leave it all behind. I'm running to the light. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. Yes, I'll follow you. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. Oh, wherever you wanna go, I'll follow you. I'll follow you. Oh, 'cause you're the lamp, you're the light, you're the cloud that guides me. You're the way, you're the truth, you're the life inside me. You conquer my fear, so I leave it all behind. I'm running to the light. You're the lamp, you're the light, you're the cloud that guides me. You're the way, you're the truth, you're the life inside me. You conquer my fear, so I leave it all behind. I'm running to the light. I'm running to the light.
In January, we sat down and we began a discussion of what do we want to see in Teen Mission in 2024. And this was the list of things that we came open to. This is the list of things I'm asking you. Are you saying yes to these things? Are you able to say yes to these things? First thing that we said, 2024, we want to see people come to Christ. We want to make sure that the gospel is preached. There's only one way that one person gets to heaven, through Jesus Christ. We want to make sure that that's delivered as clearly as possible. We want to make sure that we have open hearts, that we come into it with our hearts open, and that we're asking that people would have open hearts for that to be delivered, so a message could be delivered to them. The expansion, we talked about reaching people that we hadn't previously served, because we can kind of get a little inbred, can't we? So we have to be a little bit careful. Are we going to reach out? Sorry if that's a word that you're not quite as used to hearing, but it's just as true. We can be looking around here instead of reaching out. Going to new places, to new people. And I think that God has already begun to honor that, and I think he'll continually to do that. We want to see God's blessings, not just our work, because we can work, but if we work with love, God will always bless that. If we work asking him, where should I work? What should I do? If we put on the fruit of the Spirit, then we'll always be able to say, yes, Lord, yes, to your will, to your way, to the things that you need to have done. To equip students to become disciples and disciple makers and leaders, to help students as well as us older students to grow too. Good conversations, mature conversations, more than just, oh, I didn't know what to wear today, so I decided to put on this green shirt, and so did Ethan. It was so funny. Did you see that? Ethan and I just wore the same shirt. And maybe we can go just a little bit deeper than that and to reach out into people's hearts. God, what do you want us to talk about? Talk about a genuine expression of our faith, because we're asked to walk by faith, and we certainly need to. God would increase the name of Jesus and of Teen Mission, that it would be done in a good way. Did you know we have a good reputation around town and around the county? We want to make sure that we maintain that, and that is a good reputation with Jesus. Not just that we're good people, but that we're doing the things that Christians should be doing. To build something long-lasting in this world and eternal in the next. Lay not up for yourselves treasures here on earth that's going to rust. And we aren't just building decks so that they can rot, or paint to be scraped off in 5 years and rinse and repeat and just doing things again. But that we come into it and say, hey, what's the long-lasting thing that we can do to love on people? Want to make sure we have creativity and intelligence to be thinking about what we're doing. We're praying for good weather. You don't see Brian here right now because he's already out. Here he is. I thought he was still out on his prayer rug praying for good weather here for next week. And that we would see love and peace. And look at the next word, submission and cooperation. Those are the things we're asking God for this year. We also had a list of what don't we want to see. Ooh, you go to that church. Oh, I see. Yeah. But hey, come be with me. Come be with me. Wherever that would be and whoever that would include. We don't want human leadership. We joke a lot about that, but it's not about any of the human leadership that we have here. It's about Christ being the head and us being able to follow him. D-R-A-M-A-A, D-R-A-M-A, D-R-A-M-A, and drama was her name-o, his name-o, their name-o. Drama. You ever think we just kind of need to park that off someplace and live in Jesus? Not just in that moment that we could be upset. So we bring all that to this time, and this is where our prayer time begins tonight. If you didn't begin it already in the opening song, you can have my yes. So tonight, as we begin 2024 of Teen Mission, year 15, Yeah, yay, God. Thank you for getting us in practice, Jody. Year 2, I'm going. We're going to have another one? Okay, God. Year 3. Okay, God. How long is this going to go? Year 4. Okay, God. This is kind of... Year 5. Yay, we made 5 years. Yay. Not everything does. Not everything lasts. But as long as God wants this to, may it always go. May there always be people willing to step up and to do the things that need to be done. So as we begin tonight, won't you bow your head in prayer, please? Our Father and our God, we cannot thank you enough for your heart and for your grace and for your love, for the peace in our hearts and around us as well, oh God. Thank you for that time. Thank you for this song that we do want to not just walk or barely get there, but to run into the light, to say yes to you, to always say yes to you. Help us to keep that as our focus as we talk about Hebrews 12:1. May all of us here tonight say yes to whatever that you ask us to. May we be examples for others to follow. May you be getting ready everyone that's going to come and to serve and to be a part of this year. Continue to bless us, oh God, as you already have. May it always be about you and not about us. Give us these things that we've asked for, oh God, because we think that they would be pleasing and bring you honor and bring you glory. May the things we don't want be driven away, that those are not of God. Help us, oh God, to keep our eyes on you and always you. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. Our theme is run your race. And our scripture is, like was mentioned before, is Hebrews. And we are going to read that out loud. Hebrews 12:1 and 2. And let us... There we go. Run the race. Run with perseverance the race marked out for us. I had it memorized in my head, and then it switched around there. So, one more time. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And that'll be our theme verse for this year. And next slide. Who's who? All right. This is my favorite part, mostly because I get to name people, and it's good fun. So, our first person... you may know him, you may love him. He is our newest phrases. There's the Don, the Godfather, Captain, my captain, overall good guy, the priest, the pastor, the main man, and let's see. Anyways, that's Kenneth Smith, ladies and gentlemen. If he can take a stand, yeah, there we go. We love him. It was to stand. Although I did call him the Godfather, so he may actually get away from it. All right, our site and skilled staff director and transportation director and literally whatever everything makes goes is our lovely Brian. The person that feeds us, and honestly we all must love her, you must treat her with respect, Tammy. She is back there in the blue if you did not see her. Our community day director and overall really great girl, and then also Mike, who's not here. We have McKenna in the back. Also, overall, really great girl and a person that you should always listen to. If not, she will mom you to death, is Jody. Our lead nurse to make sure everybody doesn't die is Mary Ratcliffe. And our other nurses that will also make sure you don't die just equally as well is Shannon, Debbie, and Jackie. Our music director, she's really pretty, I like her a lot, is Kim Voss. She's in her back there. Our fundraising director and social media director, she is not here tonight, is Emily. And she deserves a lot of respect for what she's done in the past year for us. And I just appreciate that. Our activities reward directors is Kim. And Kim alone. Yeah, it's Kim and Jacob, actually. Yeah, Jacob has also done that, so thank you so much for both of those. Our overnight supervisor is, I thank him so much because that means he gets to take the brunt when I don't have to, is Dylan. Our check-in director is Jacob. Ooh, yes, the lady of honor, the matriarch, the woman, the queen bee, the overall really great person, Cherie. And our other administrative is Tim and Nicole, and I think there's more people to that, but Tim and Nicole are also helping administrative, and we love them. And they're not here. Yeah, they are also not here. Our family groups, we have in Group A, we have Dylan and Rachel, and Tristan is their junior staff. In Group B, we have Chris and Bella and Tim with our junior staff of Savannah. Tim Lockmiller is the driver, yes. In Group C, we have Russell with Beth, and with me, I have Caleb, and then I have Ethan, and I have a junior staffer with Amy. And I have Jacob is Group E with Debbie, and Group F with McKenna, Zach, Archer, and Ava. We have 4 over there. Does it mean like 4, the more problem group? Maybe F is? All right, moving on there. Yes, okay. Amy is the junior leader. That is correct. Look at the week. Back to Kenan.
Things haven't changed very much as you look at the schedule. If you haven't seen it before, and this is what Sunday night basically looks like here. There's not a lot to really let you know. Please be here by 3 o'clock so that we can get set up. I believe that we have made arrangements or should be making arrangements to talk to you in a moment, Rachel, with Tim, making sure that Bethany is open because a lot of times I think we have asked for our people to go out at 2 out at Bethany to get bedrolls put down for our adults that are going to be spending the night. No, we do that about 1, don't we? Because we have, yeah. So we're out there about 1 to put bedrolls down and things like that. For anyone that wants to be able to do that, that's why that'll be available. And then when everybody's here at 3 o'clock to get set up and everything else that we need to. Orientation begins at 5, and orientation then 5 to 7 is about what times that we're looking at for orientation. 7 to 8:30 then is worship and closing and the other things that we need to do. 8:30 we're trying to get out of here, out to Bethany in order to get ready and set up for sleeping areas, and then preparing for bed. 10:30 and lights out at 11. Yes, the shower trailer is here. Absolutely. That was a surprise Christmas gift for Tim that came early. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is pretty much the same schedule. And everybody will have a schedule later on. You can pick one up tonight if you wish over in the room that we can make some more copies if you need something to take home. Over in the green room, we can get you copies of that if you need something to take home. But again, for those of you that have been involved with our schedule, that really hasn't adjusted too much. The biggest change is that we need to be done eating about 6:15 so that we get that's all cleaned up, or about 5:30 rather, 4:30 to 5:30. So if you're having a meal, you need to make sure that you're at Trinity by 5:15 in order to get served so that they can get cleaned up. Everybody's over here by 6:15ish, and we're ready to start at 6:30. We bumped worship back from 6 to 6:30. That's the biggest difference that we made on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Okay? Still think that's going to give us plenty of time. Our services haven't been running quite as long as what they have at other times. Jody, you still doing Yay Gods this year? I think that yeah. So Jody's still doing Yay Gods. And we'll work on our video as to how that's progressing. Normally we begin, but if we have to end again, depending upon what we have to do, not a problem. We can flow with that. But what days pretty well look like. Okay. Breakfast, again, we need staff. We need you to get through the line 7:45 as quickly as you can and come eat with us, and we'll do a staff meeting there on that. On Monday, first day, Caleb, Shireen, or I will be there on Monday all day. That will be in about supper time, okay? Or I'll be in by supper time, but we will not be there that morning. So you guys will just work through all of that you need to there on Monday morning. Thursday is our reward day. Emily put out a good post today about praise as well, for that people can bring songs, poems to read, scriptures to read, things that mean something to them, so for the people can be a part early on. Just need to make sure that we work through that with you, Kim. Is that who that goes through, or is there someone else? So if someone has a praise, why they come and work with Kim in order to make sure that gets done on the appropriate night, and we can do that at any of our nights, or even Saturday morning if we needed to. So back up, please. So on Thursday morning, waking up, getting up, staff breakfast, we've backed that up a little bit from 7:45. We want to be there by 7. We want to be starting breakfast at 7:30. So Dylan, that's a little bit of a change from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where we leave about 15 minutes earlier. In order to help us out with that, we're trying to get out as much as we can at 8:30. Tammy, that's breakfast and packing lunches again, correct? On Thursday for reward day? They'll eat at the park, and we'll have food, but the food will already be there. They're not packing their own. They're buying their lunch at the park. Okay, so that's where their $10 comes in. Will be for lunch or whatever that they need to spend. That'll be for lunch there, okay? We may want to make sure that we don't have to send sandwiches. Probably want to make sure that we do have some other things to eat in case that we're just in case of emergencies that we need to with that. Dinner time, you see, free time, worship, and again, we're back and putting it on. So worship starts 6:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's always at 6:30, okay? I have told people that, yes, they can attend worship services. It doesn't mean that you'll be in this part, though. As much as we can, well, we'll seat as many people in here as we can, but we'll have it playing out on the larger screen in the other room if some of our other people come, just to make sure that we're comfortable, and all of our teenagers will be here. So I don't know exactly where, but we have plenty of room for that to happen. But you may be in the overflow watching with other people involved there, but we'll see how that all plays out, just so people would know. Takes us to Friday, and we'll have McKenna talk more in detail about this in a few moments, but Friday is our reward day. It's community day. So that's why it's not there. No, it's down in community day whenever we're talking about it later. So go to Saturday morning. Make sure you note this. Closing worship is at 11:30. Everything else, breakfast at 8, clean up from 9 to 11. We're running a little after. Closing worship is still here at 11:30. Understand and tell adults then that they will pick up kids at Bethany at 1, okay? That gives us time that we don't cramp and worry here. That gives us time to get back out there. But so they can pick up kids at 1 o'clock at Bethany. At Bethany. Okay? Miss Tammy. And her helper.
And don't look close because there's fruit snacks all over the shorts. So yes, I do want to say, I don't know if Emily will catch this, a special thanks to Emily for her posting of all this up to date, because that is how I remembered we needed to be here tonight. So I assume someone's going to flip through there. I just want to say that 1 Peter 4 verse 10 says that we are each to use whatever gifts we have been given to serve others. And I truly feel that those who are serving in the kitchen are fully using their gift to serve. Here's the kitchen crew, the group that will be serving you. We may look like that on Monday morning, but I don't know that we'll look like that by Saturday. But I do appreciate the sacrifice that these women are willing to make each day. Along with that, your churches are volunteering to come in and serve as well. As has been in the past, we will do breakfast and lunch prep at the same time as soon as you come into the building. Breakfast will include a hot entree, cold cereal, and oatmeal, along with coffee, juice, or milk. And then at the same time, you'll be spending time packing your lunches. You will become very acquainted with the 3-bag system. Would you mind, please? As you come in to prepare your lunch, you're going to take the marker and write your name on the gallon-sized Ziploc bag. You're then going to proceed to the sandwiches, where you may have 3 sandwiches, 2 meats and 1 peanut butter and jelly, or 3 peanut butter and jellies, or 2 peanut butter and jellies and a meat. But 3 sandwiches, those will all go in Ziploc bags, which will then go into the gallon-sized bag.
Up to 3 sandwiches.
Up
you do not
to,
have to have 3 sandwiches.
Right. And it is very, very expensive to feed everybody. So if you need 3 sandwiches, take 3 sandwiches, but eat 3 sandwiches. And then we will be adding an extra protein to our table this year. The little bag will be for hard-boiled eggs. You will have to peel your own eggs. That is much more sanitary than us doing that. However, the eggs will then go in the bag, along with your chip, your cookie, and your drink packet. So there is a rhyme to our madness in getting this kind of system going. Nobody wants to have a soggy sandwich at lunch. Also, if you fail to put your lunch bag in the cooler, you may hope you have a good friend, because you may not have lunch. So make sure your lunch bag gets in the cooler. So there's a few jobs that we have to do to help make everybody's task at the church a lot easier. And we'll take turns, family heads coming once during the time to help out. Instead of me having to laboriously tell you every day what to do, we're going to do this in hopes to make it a lot easier. Mealtime chores. Go ahead, McKenna, please. If it's your day to scrape the dishes, scrape the food in the garbage can, wash the dishes with hot, soapy water, rinse off all the soap. Soap left on dishes can cause major digestion issues, and we don't want that. Dry the dishes and put them away. At Trinity, every place is labeled where every dish goes. There's no confusion. If your job is clearing or washing the tables, remove all the food items, wipe the chairs and the tables off with rags that will be in a designated spot. Return the wash bucket and the rags to the table that it will be designated where they go. You don't have to run it, it does say kitchen. You don't have to run it into the kitchen. There'll be a place for that to go. If it's sweeping and mopping the floors, because sometimes there are spills, it may be dry food or it may be liquid, the broom and mop will be there. Make sure you sweep up the dry food before putting the mop on the floor, and then return them to the assigned spot. If it's bagging and taking out the trash, bag the trash and carry it to the dumpster. Do not drag it along the floor, because that tears the bags and it leaves a huge mess. If it should happen, use the mop and mop up any spills. The men's and women's restroom, breakfast and dinner will need to be tidied up. Flush the toilets, wipe off the counters and the sinks. If there's any spills, let's wipe those up too. And then in the men's restroom, there is a larger garbage can. Dump the trash out of the smaller can into the bigger. That way we're not wasting trash bags. And that brings us to being the hands and feet of Christ and serving each other. Yes. Can we talk about skilled help? Yes. As long as we know, yes, that'd be great.
All right. So again, skilled
Oh,
help.
here.
Drivers, if you want to launch the day.
Brian.
Sorry. Skilled help drivers. Again, if you want a lunch the day you are helping, you need to let Mandolin. Mandolin, where you go? Oh, Mandolin's back here. By the way, Mando's my right-hand person this year. So, yes. So anyway, she's taking over some things. So anyway, if you want a lunch, see her. It'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we're of course doing there or here, and then Friday is Community Day. So it's really Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So yes, and we will gladly make skilled help lunches. However, we've made those. Make sure you grab them out of the refrigerator. If you have requested a lunch, don't make a lunch because that is very, very wasteful.
It's your responsibility to get it to Trinity and get your lunch.
So please talk to me tonight.
Brian.
Oh, sorry. Well, all right. Work days. Oh. All right. Please repeat after me. Flexibility. Flexibility. Okay, because this week we're going to have to be very flexible. I don't know if you've looked at the weather. I have been praying all week. I've been freaking out all week. And so, seriously, we've got like 3 or 4 places we got to paint. We're supposed to be painting. And so, yeah. I guess what I'm going to be asking also is on Reward Day, not Reward Day, I'm sorry, on Community Day, if we can be as skinny or as need less people, if we might, again, Friday, we might be doing, or again, all the skilled help. If you can come back on Friday, we might be doing a lot of stuff on Friday. So, Reward Day. I didn't realize I was doing Reward Day. I got chosen. Actually, Reward Day is pretty simple. Again, if some reason one of your kids or somebody has forgot their money, come see me. Okay, I'll have cash. I will have the team mission card. Yes, Russell. Yeah, I would say 15 with the inflation. Yeah, 15. It does say 15 on the website. So, but yes, yep, yeah, and again, yeah, just remind your people who are coming and single mattress, or if it's a double, it's one person on it. It's one person per mattress. That is a good point. Again, Reward Day, seriously, if somebody forgets their money, I'll have the team mission card. Again, my goal is to get down there early. So at the gate, you guys are just going on in and so forth. So other than that, anybody have any questions? Reward Day, we're going to the same place. We're going to Prophetstown. So yes. Yeah, right now Lafayette was, last I looked, Lafayette is pretty good on Thursday, yes. Yeah. Yep. So actually, yeah, so Reward Day is actually pretty simple. So any other questions? Cool. Yes. Yes, Sri. Oh.
McKenna?
Hi guys. For some reason they put me in charge of Community Day with Mike. And it has been great and fantastic. Lots of things there. This year, of course, it's going to be at Brookside Park. We have gotten the opportunity to also partner with Purdue Extension. I was getting there. Purdue Extension, and they're gonna do kind of like a back to school thing. So they've chose to partner with us, and we are so blessed to have that as an opportunity. So I'm super excited to go into that. Go ahead. One thing that I'm gonna kind of do it the Mike way, as he would say. Which one looks more like God's love? This one or this one? That's a no. Mike had it first. I just stole it. And this is a yes, right? Oh, my goodness. Oh, that picture brings back so many memories. The kids were wet and soggy that day and super cold, but they did fantastic. Anyway, so this is what showing God's love looks like to others in the community. So Mike picked out these two, and so I'm just going to kind of read those off. Galatians 5:22 through 23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." Okay, so like summing it up, meaning you should be exhibiting all of those things to the people around us, especially during Community Day. People that come into Community Day may not be exposed to what Christ in people look like, right? So we want to make sure that we're showing them that exactly, all of those fruits of the Spirit. And then Romans 12:9 through 12 says, "Love must be sincere. Hate is sorry guys, the dyslexia kicked in hard. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor." I don't like that word. Serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. So this, I feel like, sums up all of Community Day. Exactly what we're supposed to be showing, no matter how hot, sweaty, tired, and just done we are, right? No matter how much of that we are, we want to make sure that we're still being devoted to one another in love and honoring one another, even above what we want to, right? So yeah, go ahead. So this is what the schedule looks like. I believe, now if this is wrong, Kenan will correct me. But, so yeah. At 9:30 to 11, we're going to go ahead and get lunch, but we'll be setting up before this. I don't know what wake up or anything looks like. As far as that, I think we're going to be sticking to the same workday schedule, as far as I know, until we get to 9:30 to 11:30. We'll go ahead and eat our lunch, and then we're going to go ahead and keep setting up with smiling faces, no matter how hot, and tired you are. And then from 12 to 3, we get the honor of serving our Community Day and actually being able to be in contact with our community and show them what Christ's love looks like. At 3:30, the people who won our points will go ahead and go give out the gift cards, and the rest of us will be At 3, they will be doing that. The rest of us will be cleaning up with smiling faces. And then from 3 to 4, we'll be continuing to clean up. At 4, we're going to have 4 to 5, we're going to eat pizza. And then from 5 to 7, we have the pool. And then from 7 to 7:30, we're back here to do worship and sermon. Next slide. Thank you. Okay, these are not set in stone. Yeah, these are not set in stone, so these are subject to change, but this is kind of what your family is going to look like. So with prayer tent, we're probably going to have Russell's family. Food finders, we're probably going to have Dylan's. Clothing will probably be Chris's. Food, Caleb's. Games will be Jacob's. And then my family will be floaters and kind of just needed where they are. And then for hygiene and face paint, we have specific people set aside and that have already been asked for that. Next slide. You're not going to be able to see any of that, but it's a cute little draw that I did. Yes, thank you. Took me a minute. But yes, all right. Yes. Great. Jody, it's your turn to talk. Just kidding. Kenan.
Come on up, Jody. While Jody's doing that, Go with the written schedule that you will get in your books later on, okay? McKenna's real close, so those are generalities, but go with the written schedule that's in your books, in the folders that you'll be having, okay?
Hi. We've been over these family roles lots of times, but we review them every year. And I tell you every year that if you follow these roles, your week is going to go so much smoother. I've been in groups who have done both. They followed the family roles, went great. Didn't follow the family roles, kind of chaotic. And it gets kind of crazy anyway, so it just runs a lot smoother if you do this. Also, one of the projects that we're going to be doing this week is working on city things. We're going to be working on the streets and some landscaping type things downtown. And how wonderful if we're working in these family roles and we are just like a well-oiled machine. You're doing this, you're doing this. People are checking up on you. We're caring about each other and we're caring about our city, and someone comes along and says, "Where are you from?" "Oh, Jacob's from Burr Oak. I'm from Hope Community. You know, are you all at the same church?" "No." But what a beautiful picture of unity of the Big C church we're giving when we're doing this and everything is going smoothly. And then when we hit a bump, you know, Jacob passes out on me because he was in the sun too long and didn't drink his water, then, you know, we take care of him or whatever it is. So, you know what I mean. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the work directors, the supervisor on the site are the family heads and assistant family heads. I mean, they're in charge all week. They're in charge of the whole group all week, but we're talking about on site. They are the supervisors. And you have skilled help to help you out, know exactly what you're doing, but you're still in charge of making sure that everything gets done. Your progress reporter helps with, if, let's say, for example, Caleb, you're working with me, and we're working on the side of Burr Oak that has all the landscaping. I know that's your favorite thing to do. And let's say Tony and Tracy are working on the playground, and you have half your group back there, and half the group is up with us doing the front. Well, your progress reporter, let's say, who's your assistant family head? I'm sorry, I can't. Who? Amy. So let's say that Amy is around but working with Tracy and Tony. Well, they get to the point where they've got all the tires buried or whatever. And Amy comes running around. She says, "Hey, Caleb, we got all the tires buried. We're ready to do this." And she runs back and helps Tony and Tracy. Then he knows what all is going on everywhere on the site, and it's really helping them. And then at lunch, she can say, "Okay, we've got this, this, and this done. We still have to do this, this, and this." It's just very helpful, helps everything run very smoothly. So it says look for a leader, a hyper teen. You can also look for someone who's kind of organized, but someone who has a lot of energy is very, very helpful. Okay. Safety inspectors, they take care of the first aid kits, the sunscreen, the bug spray, and they look for danger. So for the example that I always give is we have a tendency to leave tools laying around, and we don't want anybody stepping on a rake and smacking themselves in the face or stepping in a hole. I've done that, you know, those kinds of things. So we're looking for someone who is more detail-oriented. They're going to be constantly monitoring and scanning to make sure that all the tools are picked up and nobody's stepping in the hole and so on and so forth. Your quartermasters are in charge of all the tools. So at the beginning of the day, they're saying, "Okay, we have 4 pairs of clippers and 2 rakes and 3 buckets and blah, 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 blah." At the end of the day, "Okay, we only have 2 clippers. Where's the other clippers?" And they find everything and make sure that everything that was brought to the site gets back loaded up in a vehicle or is put somewhere to use the next day, whatever. Okay, go on. Okay, so you can have 2 people on quartermaster because we have a lot of tools that we use. We have a lot of things that we have to take care of and keep track of. So if you have a lot of people in your family, you can have 2 quartermasters. Your devotion leader, they lead prayer. They prompt discussion and report the yay gods. I've seen families, their devotion leaders at lunchtime will get out the IDTs and lead a discussion on the IDTs. They will, when you get to the site in the morning, they'll say, "Hey, let's pray with the resident or whoever's here." they will do things like that. I've seen a lot of really, really good things with these devotion leaders. And so we want somebody who is willing to speak up in a group setting. And they don't even have to be extremely talkative. They could be the kind of person who is willing to ask people questions, but just someone to lead that discussion or to lead. And they don't even have to say the prayer. They could just say, hey, let's pray with the resident or whatever. So you're looking for somebody like that. Okay. The health monitors, they help with the Gatorade and lunches. Tammy talked about make sure you have your name on it and make sure you get it in your cooler. Well, this person come along and say, we have 8 people in our group and we only have 7 lunches in our cooler. They can also be the one that makes the lunch for your skilled help and make sure that your skilled help's lunch gets in your cooler. They can do all of those things. No? Right. They don't take them to the sites though. The family doesn't take them to the site. The skilled help grabs them and takes them to the site. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So your health monitor can do that. Can get it out of the refrigerator and make sure it's in the cooler and just communicate with the family head and skilled help. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll eliminate the making of the double lunches. If the health monitor, especially if that health monitor can communicate with whoever the skilled person is on your site. So say, for example, I'm with Savannah's family, and she's the health monitor, and she says, hey, Jody, I've got your lunch. It's made. It's in our cooler. It's not super difficult. I've had people do that, and I'm like, wow, thanks. That's really nice. So that's kind of a quiet person. They kind of fly under the radar, and they just get things done. Your spirit captain is the person who keeps track of the points. So you want a McKenna for that one? You want a cheerleader type who is going to keep track of your points and make sure that the people do the things to get the points. So you definitely you want a McKenna if you don't have McKenna. Okay. Okay, so we're training future leaders. I've emphasized, I think, a couple of times that if you assign everyone a family role, even if you have 2 people doing the same role and helping each other out, it's going to run more smoothly. But these are 12 to 16-year-old young ladies and gentlemen. Some of them don't have any responsibilities at home. So we're starting to train them up in leadership so that they will be ready by the time they're 16 to maybe become a junior leader and then maybe go on to be assistant family heads and family heads. We get to watch them grow and mature in these roles. So please make sure that they get the jobs because it will help them come into those leadership roles. Okay, I think I'm done.
Sorry about the PowerPoint issues, guys. If your PowerPoint wasn't correct, check with me. I think I've got them all, but check with me afterward. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, I've worked this time to try to shorten it, plus try to get things so we could really see them, because to this day, I can look at a plant and go, is that poison ivy? I don't know. So we're going to do a little more research on that. Can you go forward for us? Here's our nurses. They're the heroes. We got 2 here. I think that's the only ones here tonight. There you are, Mary. Of course, Mary. Sorry, Mary. And so there's 3 here tonight, but Debbie is not. All right, move forward. Make sure that you know, by the way, before I go on to the nurses, make sure that you know who is on for that day. Mary, during the daytime, do the nurses move around? Do you have different nurses? So you will be, I'm sorry. So you are still the contact person. We're calling you. All right, and we all have that number, and we'll make sure you have that number if you need it. Again, and I'll say this again in a few minutes, make sure you know your address. Okay. First of all, everyone, did I stutter there? Everyone.
Every site folder has your address in it.
Yes. Everyone, did I mention everyone? Everyone has to wear sunscreen. I don't care if you don't burn. I don't care. Because they're watching you. So if you don't wear sunscreen, then they're going to argue with us. We had a kid burn so badly he had to go home 1 year. So we don't want to do that again. Wear sunscreen, even if you don't usually wear it. Wear it this week for us. Okay? Remember, God asks us to do something, we're supposed to do it. So every group will have the bottle of sunscreen. Plus, we put it in the packing list so that if they want to use their own particular sunscreen, they can. And allow them to do that. Some have skin sensitivities. Go forward. You need to know what to do. We no longer go over any of this with the kids. So I will tell you, from 8 years on an ambulance, 9 out of 10 people will panic. I'm not exaggerating. I'm sure the nurses will probably agree with me. 9 out of 10 will go, ah! Right? And they won't know what to do. So we need you to know what to do. Go forward for us. That's poison ivy. I've been working on memorizing it. It's got a little edgy thing. There's 3 leaves. Yeah, edgy thing. You know, edgy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go forward. That's one of the ones. I really can't tell a lot of difference between these two. They kind of look a little bit alike, except this one's got deeper veins. But again, it's 3. 3. It likes to grow like a shrub or a vine. A little thumb on it. Okay, I see it. The little thumb thing. Yep. Okay. All right. There's one. Number 2. Number 3. Poison sumac doesn't look like either one of those. But it says it grows in clusters of 7. There aren't a lot of plants that grow in clusters of 7. So you see something like that, take precautions. Next one. Wild parsnip. We've gone around and around about this and what it looks like. It is yellow for the most part. I do understand there are some white, but there's not a lot of white around here. If you look at the middle one, you'll see that you've got a lot of edging there and the way that it grows up. You see that? Don't touch it. Do not touch it. We don't want you the one with the blisters on your hands, okay? Go forward. And the last one, I have personally not seen this. Nicole told me about it. It's called fireweed. And if you touch it, it's stinging and it's hurting. These are the 5 things we don't want you nor the participants to touch. So if you see them, it's not like, well, okay, I'll pull it out. I've got gloves on. No, please don't. Please don't. All right. So you don't want to touch them. We're going to use weed killer on them. Go forward. All right. Again, that's what it said. Okay. There's different things for different plants. Poison ivy, oak, and sumac. Together, you scrub it with soap and water. And I do mean scrub. It is an oil. So if you've ever worked with oil-based products, you're doing this little hand brush, it is not going to help. It's really not going to help. You're going to have to scrub it, and you kind of do it with your nails or with a brush. You really want to scrub it with soap and water and get it off, okay? Wild parsnip, you're going to have to apply wet compresses to that. It spreads easily. It can get under your nails, and you start scrubbing, and you're going to bring it up your arm or up your leg, okay? So you're going to put wet compresses and calamine lotion. That is one particular one that can cause a severe reaction. There are some people, my husband to be one, that reacts very badly to poison ivy, but that's not that common. Yeah, another one. Great. All right, so we know these 2. We don't let them around poison ivy, okay? But wild parsnip, everybody reacts. Correct. And it can be very, very serious. So if they're showing any kind of anaphylaxis, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
So every med kit has the poison ivy stuff, and there's a bar of soap and some. Some have these. You just put it on, you wash. Again, this grabs that oil Cherie was talking about and gets it off your skin.
And it's a special bar of soap.
They all have both the wipes and the soap.
Oh, okay. So I just didn't see it. So they all, again, it's called Grandma's soap. It's great for poison ivy. So if you get into it, wash real quickly. Okay?
Just one last thing on any of these things. Remember that if by the time you get to the student and they've, wallered in it, you're going to have them change their clothes, okay? It's going to be all over the clothes and everything else. So we'll have to contact the nurse and bring them back here, get them some clean clothes, probably get them in a shower somewhere and get them scrubbed down. Fireweed, I'm told that if you make it's supposed to be plaster, but with baking soda and water, which you will not have with you, right? So that's another thing. You can contact one of us and we will bring it there. It takes the sting away. It's not going to usually cause any major reaction, but it will take that sting away. Go forward for us. Rashes, remember, some people, it's, they get a little rash, and that you think it's the end of the world. It's inevitably the person that hardly says anything and says, it's kind of bothering me, and, you follow it up around here, and they've hardly said anything, all right? That's usually what happens. So always take a look at it. Don't touch it, please. Take a look at it and see where it is. Contact the nurse either way, even if it's just a little pin prick. It looks like nothing. So, well, just have the nurse check that out. Okay. Go next, forward. Okay, the nurses are going to be here. We're going to do this. Let me back that up. After worship, what Hope Community does, and I believe what Burr Oak does, and maybe Bethany too, I'm not sure how you do it, but after worship we say, if you're going to be involved with Teen Mission, you need to come over here and have a lice check. That gets all of this taken care of before we even get here. There's going to be kids that may not attend any of our ministries, so we have a place the nurses will go and just do a really quick lice check. The only thing I want to tell you about that is that we will send them home, have them treat, come back and check them and make sure it's all right. The one thing that I want to be very conscious of is not to tell anyone. And we had a big deal about this. One girl had it, and it was spread all over, and it was pretty traumatic for the girl. So, it's a hush-hush situation. We just say, let's go home with mom or whoever, and we'll wash your hair and come back, and we'll do it again. It's that simple. Okay, go forward. Okay, ticks and vector-borne illnesses. Go forward. As you hear me say every year, they come so small you cannot see them. This is a bit-me bag, okay? They come so small, the newts, you can literally see them. You have to, focus in and say, okay, that thing's moving, that dot is moving, okay? So we have that permethrin for a reason. I'll give you a suggestion. The night before, you're going to a scene that has a lot of grass, a lot of things like that. You're outside a lot. You take your shoes and you line them up, preferably your socks, and you spray those things with permethrin. In the morning, they're dry. The bugs don't like to go past that. It will kill them. So that gets you protected from about here to here, okay? You can also spray your clothes. You cannot spray your skin. This is not for skin contact. This is not off. This is for your clothing. So you can set that out, all right? So we're taking some precautions. Go forward for us. Quicker. There we go. It's slow today. Not her. It's slow. If they're unattached, try not to panic. Get a hold of the thing, take it, crush it, take it outside. It's not a big deal if they're not attached. Go forward. Okay, this is a bit-me bag. I broke it down into, go forward one. It's really slow. One more. There it is. PTSD, which I hope you never get. Okay. pull out the tick, straight up, P. Tape that little sucker to the card. Seal the bag. Turn the page, please. D, put the data on the card. What we want to know is who it was, where they were bitten, and what the date was. And the location is great too, because they're still trying to track these things, okay? This can literally save someone's life. 37 years I had it. 37 years, okay, before they figured out what it was. We were repairing the house for a wheelchair. We really started taking things out so we could get wheelchairs in doorways. This is serious stuff. So what you want to do is if you take that little thing and you tape it to the card, I've done this already this summer. I sent it in. It was a $50 little thing. They will check it and make sure whether or not it carried anything. And that's a lot easier than having your blood drawn and going through all the tests, which are inaccurate 50% of the time. So that's what we want to keep that tick for. That's it. So PTSD, pull it. What was? Tape it. Seal it. Data. Very good. Go forward. Did that one. Go forward. Okay. I did a few little more pictures this year. Heat exhaustion versus heat stroke. What you want is heat exhaustion. If you have to pick one, you want that one. You don't want the other one. All right. Actually, you don't want either. All right. So hopefully this year isn't going to be that hot. But remember, it does not have to be that hot, does it, McKenna? No, it does not. You have to be active. And your temperature has to go up. It's not necessarily about the temperature outside. It's about the temperature in your body. Okay? So, first of all, they start getting very hot. They dizzy. They're nauseous. But their skin is cool. You know, muscle cramps, blah, blah, blah. They don't quite look right. They're bright red. We'll go through this in a minute. You call in the nurse. I'm going to check you out. We're going to get you somewhere cool. I'm going to put you in a nice air-conditioned vehicle, drive you to a nice air-conditioned place, put some cold compresses on your different spots, and then we're going to lay you down. Okay? Not a big deal. We're going to watch you the rest of the week. Heat stroke is very different. Notice how the guy's kind of green? You never forget a green person. Can I tell you that? You walk in the room and you go, is it just me or is he green? He's green, okay? Go forward. This person, okay, here's the heat exhaustion, bright red, tiny pupils. The next one is heat stroke. They're this pale, yucky color. Their pupils are dilated, very big. They are confused often. You know, what happened? Where am I? What are we doing? They may ask the same question over and over again. You'll see the same thing as if you had a head injury. Confusion is a big one. You hear somebody asking you the same question 3 times, you get speed dial, nurse, okay? All right, go forward. This is what you're going to do until the nurse gets there. What I want to emphasize this year is, remember, you never, ever leave a person like this alone. Ever. Usually what we like to do is the person that is in charge stays with the person. So let's say, Caleb, you would stay with the person, begin doing this while you said, Anna? No. Amy. Amy, call the nurse right away. If they look really bad, call the nurse, call a 911, then call the nurse. Okay? And we'll talk about that. And you stay with them till you are relieved by either the nurse or by the ambulance. You don't leave their side. I want to emphasize that. Okay? Go forward. Inhaled allergens, you know this. Most of you have ever seen me have an attack. Anyway, these are big deals. Let me tell you this. I read last week that the thing that precurses what I have is called multiple chemical sensitivity, increased by 300% in the last 5 years. 300%. I have people come to me all the time and goes, I get a headache whenever they do that. I feel nauseous. My asthma kicks in. You know, you're saying all these different things. I don't feel right when I'm around that stuff. That is all warning signs that you can't handle that kind of thing. You need to get out, get that person out of there. Get them away from whatever that is. Either move the perfumed person or move the other person. Move somebody. All right, go forward. If it's me, and we're praying it's not, but if it's me, call Kenan immediately, or my daughter Meg. Nurses, think anaphylaxis. Okay? All right, go for it. Enough on me. All right, I'm just going to give a little thing because, you know, it's me, and I'm going to say those are really bad for you. Really bad. Let me give you an illustration, and I'll go on. I bought some clothing at Goodwill the other day, and, you know, they perfume the clothes. You know, you then walk into Goodwill, they want it to smell good, right? So I washed it 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, and I still didn't get the smell out. I had to get a special product eventually to get the smell out. I have to ask you, how good is it for your largest organ to be covered in that smell? Lecture over. Okay, next. Things to watch for. What people don't really realize is, and I'm sorry I have to hit this, really, I am, but things they don't realize smell. Men's deodorant is a huge one. Guys will come by and, you know, raise their arms, and you can smell it to over there. Or I can. Anyway, those are some of the things that we need to watch out for. Go forward. These are illegal. Therefore, they can't have them. They're illegal. I saw one recently that was the most beautifully disguised one. They can be amazingly disguised. So if you keep seeing someone lift their hand up, try to find out what's in their hand and take it away. They will also need to be talked to. Let's go forward. Power tool rule. Pretty simple. They're in senior high. They can do power tools with supervision. Next slide. Okay, mold. You see it, stop, get away from it, call Brian. Next slide. Emergency protocol. This is what we want you to do. Again, 1 leader stays with the person, okay? Fall over 5 feet. Anytime you fall over the height of your body, you can do major injury to your head. So if they fall and hit their head or their chest, you're going to want to call the nurse if they're acting fine, and 911 if they're not, okay? Difficulty breathing, severe bleeding that can't be stopped. How do we stop bleeding? Pressure. Pressure. I've seen people not want to, it's bleed. You want me to touch it? Touch it. Put your hand and press as hard as you can. They're going to scream. Don't let up. I don't care how bad they're screaming. You hold that down because you're probably saving their life. Okay? Disorientation, I covered that before. If they start acting weird, there's something that's not typical for them. They're asking questions that don't make sense. Yeah, call the nurse or 911. Open fracture, 911. Okay, everybody knows what an open fracture is. The bone sticking out, that's an open fracture. Also, it can be an open fracture if there is a obvious fracture and there is a hole. That means the bone came out and went back in. That still needs to be called by 911. They can have bacteria enter in there. It can kill them, actually. Go forward. So, 911, nurse, Ken and Shree, wait patiently. Everybody, when the ambulance arrives, what took you so long? It's been 5 minutes, but it's going to feel like 25 minutes because you're standing there with the person, okay? Wait patiently. If you're the 1 out of 10 people that can keep your nerve, be the calm one. Talk slowly. talk in his monotone voice. Let's sit down and wait with him or her. Do things like that. So let's go through this. Something happens at, let's see, Jacob's site. Jacob stays with Ethan. I know you're a leader, but anyway. He stays with you while you're sick. Who's your person? Your junior leader, co-leader? Debbie. Okay. So Debbie, or you, vice versa, starts with a 911 call with the address, calls Mary, then calls Kenan or I. Why does he call Kenan and I? Because we have the paperwork. We'll immediately call the parents and say, meet them at the ER. Okay? Go forward. We're almost done. Almost done. We're done with me. That's Kenan.
Just because I get confused does not mean that I have heat exhaustion, just to make that abundantly, perfectly clear. I may, but don't go on the confusion portion of that. We're in part 2 now. Okay. Remember that confusion part? I may have heat exhaustion. Okay, right. This wasn't expected. Okay. Right. Nothing necessarily, again, has changed of what that we try except to continue to make it better. Family heads need to be respected, and we need to make sure that people are doing that, okay? Treat them with respect. Ask for that respect. Making sure that you're giving each other respect as well. Someone asks you about something, showing that example, sure. If there's a problem, then you come and chat, okay? Assistant family heads, same thing. You address an issue with your family head. If that doesn't work, then you come and you talk with us. Don't bypass them. You guys try to work things out to start with, all right? That doesn't work, then we'll sit down and talk about it. Talking with your other family heads. What are you doing? Are you having this issue? What are you doing with that? Trying to keep it even across the board as much as we possibly can. But we'll continue to work things out as we need to. Make sure that you're showing junior staff the respect that we're asking the participants also to show. If it needs to be addressed, then we'll go to Jody, okay? If there's something that you see or that you're having a problem as family heads, that you're going, I've asked this of my junior staff and there's an issue, we go back to Jody. Jody's worked and done our training with them. They know what to expect. They know what we're expecting, but we go back to Jody for that contact with them if you can't get things worked out, okay? Treat them with respect. Make sure that they are also being respectful to you. If we have to, then we'll go on. If we have to talk to the ministry heads, we'll continue to do that. Freely talk to any administrative person if there is anything about your situation in your family that makes you uncomfortable. That's not to say, can I tell you about this bad problem? Can I tell you about this bad problem? Can I tell you about this? Can I tell you? Have I told you? Have I seen? Those are things that we don't need. If you're asking with one other respected person that isn't Cherie or I about an issue, what are you doing with this? We hear that. But most of the time, you guys are able to figure some things out, and you don't need to. But these are the things that we need you to come and to talk with us, not to speak with other people that may not have anything in regard to that. That becomes very important, as Cherie was saying about the young lady that was embarrassed because roll out a sign of telling that this person had had lice, but that's how she felt. And we don't. We're trying to get away from that. The emotional challenges continue to increase. Recently was told in a school of, honestly, your son isn't that bad, so we're going to treat other people. And if we see problems, then we'll come back and we'll work with you. But there's issues going on. That's just the amount of people that we have to. Give them space, give them time, say very little. This is not a time to talk. This is not a come to Jesus meeting at that point in time, okay? This is a time to just, okay, and just give them time. If they want to talk, listen. Guidelines tell you this. A person is upset. Well, you know what you ought to do, Brian. No, the first thing is, I'm sorry to hear that. You're there to support. You're there to support a person. They don't care what you know until what? They know that you care. So you're there to support, and then pretty soon we may get to a point where we can teach, but if they don't ever know that you care about them, you'll never get to that teaching point. So we're there to support them. We're there to bring them back down to a level they can hear and where they can be respectful, where they can do the things that needs to happen. We're going to show them godly love. We're going to show them security, but we'll be okay. God's right here. We'll be all right. Rinse and repeat. Don't take things personally. They can just be screaming all that they want. May have nothing to do with you. Exactly. You come back to, okay, but don't take it personally. Especially work with family heads, assistant family heads, junior staff, and I think this is true, Jody. We're telling junior staff, yours is not necessarily the job of discipline, correct? We're telling them that. Family heads, assistant family heads, you're the disciplinarians in your family. Mom and dad, you're the disciplinarians, okay? From that, then, junior staff don't take on that role as well. Be kind, but be firm. This is what the rules say, and we're all following those to the best of our abilities. Then we expect them to do because they have signed. And you don't pull that contract out. See, you signed right here. There's a lot of other different ways in order to come back to that, of just reminding them that this is what we were expecting all along. If the behavior continues, then we'll let them know that their behavior, and they're going to talk to Cherie or I. Tell us early. There's so many things that we hear on Thursday. Yeah, it began on Monday. I know we're overwhelmed, but if this is a big deal, then talk to us so that we can deal with it as it needs to. I hate this, but I always have to say there are kids that may have to go home, and we understand that. And so this is not necessarily always for everybody, but we have to make sure that everybody is safe. When the physical, mental, and emotional health of the participant and or other participants is at risk, they may be sent home. That's the way that we look at it. In certain cases, the authorities may need to be contacted depending upon what has happened. If there's a person that needs a cool-off time and go home and take a shower, hit their bed, and come back the next morning, we can talk through some different things. It's not an expulsion. It's a let's see what we need to do. Let's see what the situation. But if it continues on, it may be, well, let's try again next year. But we probably, if it's bad enough, we can't do that for this year. Those are the things that we specifically are looking at. Especially the bottom one. It's much more subjective, but we still have to be thinking about what it's doing to the atmosphere and the situation around everyone that's involved in that. Careful with your surroundings. Never, ever, 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 if you can help it at all, and you always can help it at all, of being alone with somebody. We've gotten a lot better with this. There had been times that we hadn't, and we've gotten a lot better with this, and I'm very proud of us and thankful for us that we have. Be careful with your actions. Be careful with your affections on everyone, no matter whom that it is. Just be careful on how that you're expressing that, your words, your tone, your body language. No lectures. This isn't the time. That certainly isn't the time of teaching or expectations. Sexual harassment, bigotry, homophobia are unchristlike and not tolerated at Teen Mission. Okay? We'll come back to that in just a moment. Yes?
Regarding back before on the vapes, my understanding was that the first time we were just going to take the vape away,
Mm.
and the kid will continue to be there. And if there's a ongoing problem, they have multiple vapes or problematic in that way.
Caleb was asking about vapes. Yes, if they have one, we take it and we just go on, okay? Never do that again. And so that we take the vape. If they have 17, we take all 17, but not one at a time. It's, okay, do you have any more? Because we really want you to stay, but we need the vapes. Okay, that's the way that I think that I would handle it, Caleb, is that you take the first one, and then do you have any others? Because this is an illegal thing, and we can't have that. If we can take all of them, we're golden. If they continue to, and whether it's second or third, I don't know that we're going to try to count, but at some point in there where they're lying and this is their reliance, no, we can't do that. We can't continue to allow that to happen. So take the first one, ask if they have any others, take it. I don't think we return those. If they're illegal, Brian's using one. I mean, but we may no. It's just I don't think that we return those. So yeah, Jody, yeah, he has. Yeah, well, he has exhaustion. You're about to give him heat stroke because she's going to warm him up. Bang, stop that. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, check-in starts at 3. Oh, I got one right here. Check-in starts at 3. For the family staff, I believe we last year did this. We had our family heads and assistant family heads arrive an hour early at 2, if you can or are available to, just for like kind of a lunch and kind of just a quick go over the week, come together as a team, as a group, as a family, and just prepare for what's about to come and just kind of have a meal together real quick. But we'll already be here at Hope. At 3, we're asking for as many of you guys that can come. I will be placing people where they need to go. It really depends on who's there. I have ideas in mind, but it just depends if you're able to make it. So everything is going to be starting over here on this side. We're asking people to park on the south side for those that know the directions. And we're going to be starting over here by the garages because we want people to get their lights checked right away. We have an area upstairs in what I believe is the youth room up there. They go up the stairs, they get their lights checked, private as possible. We have a couple people up there doing that. And then they come back out and they give their luggage to, we're going to have about 3 or 4 people out here by the garages, probably some junior staff, some guys, some girls, just packaging stuff up. And if they properly go through the lights check, put them into the trailers. And then once they've done their lights check, they come back around and they'll go to the front of the building up here. Yes. Great. Good thing we're inside for most of it. Yes. For anybody who is over here helping, who I put over here, I'm encouraging you to ask and make sure that people have their paperwork and their medications on them before they come back around to start, so that we're not going in and out a whole bunch and, just confusing people. We're going to send people up to the front where they're going to start actual check-in. We're going to have a couple people up there, not only making sure that they're, actually have their lights checked done and everything, but they're going to come back, make sure that there's no smells. Kind of our first line of defense here. Whoever I put on there, you're kind of doing multiple things. You're sending people this way if they haven't gone here yet, and you're letting us know kind of, okay, this I can smell something obvious. I'm going to go in and make sure that our good friend Sheree doesn't die. Yeah, so you come back in, and then we're going to have our check-in tables. Caleb and somebody else, as we go through, you're going to have your paperwork, your medications, your health. Right up here at front in the, I don't know what that room is called right there. Inside. Yes. Come inside the door. We're going to have all our tables, our check-in. We're going to have all the tables with signs in front of them kind of to lead you through. And yeah, like I said, make sure you have your paperwork and your medications. And then once you've reached the end of that, they're going to lead you over into, I believe, is what the conference room, the meeting room over here. And McKenna had the idea this year of giving the kids their own water bottles that you can design, put stickers on, do whatever you want with, really. And we're going to be trying to keep those throughout the week. And so we're going to lead them into here after they're done getting checked in. They can mess with those, get them all dressed up. I don't know. And then they can and then once they're done in there, we're going to try and lead them to hang out in the sanctuary here. I'm sure there's some extra space over in that room, but we're going to try and keep them kind of out of the way is kind of the goal. And we're going to have adults stationed throughout the building, kind of in key areas, like right here in the hallway over here, just kind of keeping eyes on where children are going, basically. But yeah, if you're here, just come to me. I'll tell you what to do for the most part.
Overnight. Pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure most of you are doing overnights and helping out with that have done them before. But lights out at 11. Teens should be in their room 5 minutes prior. I will be blasting some music. I typically time that so that way the song ends right when they're supposed to be going to bed. I blast the music to Seesaw Conversations and let them know, like, bathroom, get back. I saw it once work at a big college dorm, and it seemed to work. So I implemented it, and it's worked just fine all these years. The kids seem to love it even. They also wake up in the morning with music. Sometimes not as loud, sometimes just as loud as when they went to bed. Depends on the night, depends on the day, and depends on my mood. After they're put to bed, they typically talk quietly, as long as they're not disturbing others and intruding on their sleep. We typically put up with that for about 20 minutes to a half hour-ish. And then we put a stop to it. Definitely start sending people into those rooms to stay there for the night and deal with it. Family heads and junior staff and whoever, basically bed by midnight. I'm used to staying up late. I will probably be up just slightly later than midnight to make sure that everything is good. And then I'll be locking up. Kids are supposed to be sleeping on just twin mattresses. Preferably nothing bigger. If a kid does bring something bigger and we have extra twins, we'll probably swap them out. If you are an adult and might need something, try to go as large as a full. Don't go straight to the queen size. But I get it. I'm a person that I like to sleep on a bigger mattress than a twin. I did that in my teenage years, and I was about half the size of what I am now. I don't do that well anymore. I think that's pretty much it. Caleb?
Junior staffers, you may actually be put into rooms if need be to make sure that things are calm and collected inside the rooms.
As far as I know.
Final thoughts, questions, Brian?
As usual, I've got 50,000 things going through my head, and I forgot a few things. First off, a couple yay gods. I've already had one company come in, help the crisis center. One of their overhead garage doors that haven't worked for about 6 years. They came in, cost about $80 in materials. They're donating the labor, and that's it. So, yay God. Also, Blake just both air conditioners are running and not tripping. So, yay God, we're going to have air conditioning. One other thing, again, Dylan, Caleb, Russell. You guys are rocks. I appreciate you guys. I mean, I appreciate our other family heads, but they've been doing this. So, again, I know Jacob, again, assistant family heads. You guys can go to these guys. They've been rocks. They've been through it. They've seen it. So, lean on them. Also, Tuesday. From what I hear, we're going to have like 20. We could have 20 solo kids. So Tuesday morning, guys, is going to be, yeah. So Linda, Lowry, the Ratcliffes, Mike and Zandra. Sorry, lost their names for a second, but they will be here to help drive if need be. So, anyway, again, Tuesday, about 5 or 6 of. I'll pass out that information on Tuesday morning. I'll make sure I'm going to be out there early. But basically, you're going to meet once you go to your site. Probably five of the families will be meeting at the airport out there by Mount Hood. That's going to be our Tuesday. That's going to be our. There's a shelter out there. That's going to be our kind of hub for Tuesday. So, and again, we're just going to have to be flexible, folks. Monday, I mean, if it's 70% chance of rain, I don't know. You may have your family group go back to Bethany and have some God time. I'm just letting you know now. Just we don't know what God's got in plan there and so forth, because we got like 4 patios to paint and do stuff. So we'll have to get it figured out. Anyway.
Solo kids should arrive at Bethany at 7 o'clock. Okay? Solo kids should arrive at Bethany at 7 o'clock, and we'll process those as quickly as we can. We have some of the solo paperwork, but if not, they'll come, bring their paperwork to Bethany at 7 o'clock. Solo kids need to be picked up Wednesday at Bethany at 7 o'clock, just to make it easiest for our parents. Okay, so continue to do that. Did Tammy have to leave? Okay. Do you have anything to talk about on points? Jacob was asking.
Thank you. Really quick. Basically, the points are meant to serve us. We're not serving them. The system's set up basically to encourage our family to do what they're already supposed to be doing. Drinking water, putting on sunscreen, doing their IDTs. Great and wonderful things. But yeah, it's really to reward them with the possibility of having the duck for a day, and also to lead us towards the end of the week when they're going out and being Christ to the community. Like McKenna talked about, they're going out and handing out gift cards. I've had the privilege for the last couple of years of doing that, and it's really, really cool because you get to see the different responses and they get to actually experience that. And if they're worried, you kind of get to walk them through that. So yeah, the points are pretty straightforward. I try not to make it something that takes up a lot of your time, but it's something that just helps us.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Rachel. Rachel, you may want your van. Yeah.
We actually that's one of my things for Saturday is a few years back we actually bought a bunch. I think we might have 30 or 40, and we're going to check. Stephanie is actually going to make a count on Saturday. So, but they're just. Oh, that's probably where they went. Okay. Hey, so.
Wait a minute. We got two more. They could come and be a helper, but they would not be able to be a participant. No.
Yeah, if they're over 18, they would have to fill out again the skilled help form or go through the background check.
They're 18. They need to. They can come help, but not be in a family full time.
Yeah, they'd have to have their own transportation back and forth.
Ethan.
I just wanted to say for family heads on the big thing, working in it's not enough to your coffee and wireless spot. They have come up with very good hidden devices. Yeah. I've seen hair clips that have built in. I've seen all-point pins. If you see a kid putting pins in, it's not a lot. Or a girl with a hair clip.
I confiscated a lighter that looked like a plastic.
Just be careful.
For those of you that are watching at home, why Ethan was saying that hair clips can be disguised as a vape and that an ink pen, and that it's if you see someone that's going from pocket to their mouth and back again, that's a pretty good indication that something may be going on. You want to check that out. We're not wrestling people to the ground. We're not putting, we'll just ask them to empty their pockets. If they won't empty their pockets, that's where you call me, and we continue then on down to see what we need to do, because the refusal would be a big issue. Don't make a big deal out of it. Call, and we'll just deal with that at that point in time, okay?
I have to get on, last thing, paperwork a little bit. If you haven't had your paperwork handed in, you need to hand it in. On that, I've got to ask you to please fill out all the paperwork. I've got a couple of you that have just handed in the hours. And the reason we put that in there is that we all agree during this week. That means that we may not agree always, but during this week, we're going to be of one mind. So try to hand all that in. And lastly, if you have children or someone else that's not here that wants a T-shirt, please see me as soon as possible tonight if you can, and we'll get those on the T-shirt list, okay? Now, you'll have to pay for those, but yes.
Dependent upon your actions between now and then. The mirror told, yeah, the man in the mirror. If everybody would stand, please. Kind of make a circle on the outside, or as much as you could, please. Those of you that are watching online, we're just going to say goodbye right now because the next part's not going to be work out too well. So thank you, Tom, for videoing tonight, but you can just cut that off, and we will see you on Sunday, if not before. Blessings. Amen.